Hi, good morning to all of you. In continuation of rolling contact bearings, we are into now lecture 4. Now let us recollect what we have done so far. In the last class, we discussed about the static load carrying capacity of bearing, and then we derived the Strebach equations, and I gave you some assignment also on that. I also gave you some notes based on dynamic load carrying capacity. But today, before we proceed, you have to understand what do we mean by dynamic load carrying capacity. Because depending on that, there are certain equations which needs to be derived. Now, any industrial product has its own life. So bearings has its own life of failure. Now bearing life is determined by fatigue. Therefore, the life of a bearing depends on the fatigue life. So dynamic load carrying capacity, it depends on the fatigue life of bearings. Now, when I talk about bearings, it can be individual ball bearing or a group of bearings. Now, if it is individual ball bearing, then we can define the life like this. That is, life of an individual ball bearing is defined as the number of revolutions. This is very important. The number of revolutions or hours of service at some given constant speed, which the bearing runs before the first evidence of fatigue crack in balls or races. Now, if any fatigue failure occurs, it may happen at the surface of the balls or the inner race or the outer race. So that is quite evident the fatigue has started and life of the bearing is being shortened. Now, if we consider a group of bearings, so for a group of bearings, life is defined in terms of statistical average performance. Why this is so? Because it is very difficult to determine the life of an individual ball bearing. So we take the help of a group of bearings, and life is defined in terms of statistical average performance. Now this rating of bearings depends upon two factors, that is average life of a group of bearings or life which 90% of the bearings will attain or exceed. But in industry, this factor means life which 90% of bearings will attain or exceed is very common. So for rating of bearings, we go for the number 2, that is 90, when the 90% bearings the life will attain or exceed before the fatigue failure is evident on the surface of the balls or races. So, rating life of a group of apparently identical ball bearings can be defined as the number of revolutions that 90% of the bearings will complete or exceed before the first evidence of fatigue crack. Now, this minimum life or the fatigue life, what we say, in different books in different industry, they are called as minimum life or catalog life or L suffix 10 life or B10 life. In our syllabus, this is given. So we will be following to determine the rating life for ball bearing as L10 life. So understanding this, as individual ball bearings or group of ball bearings, we can now state that the dynamic load carrying capacity of a bearing is defined as the radial load in radial bearings, radial bearings, or thrust load in thrust bearing that can be carried for a minimum life of 1 million revolutions. This is another important thing. So L10 life indicates that the L10 life over here, which will be following throughout the text. So L10 life indicates that 90% bearing will reach or exit before fatigue failure occurs. So here we assume that the inner race is rotating and the outer race is stationary. Normally this is an assumption and this has been followed. So formula for calculation of the rating life of bearings for different type of bearings are given in standards. But there is a manufacturer catalog. Now this has been devised by any manufacturer which contains ready-made values of the fatigue life, the life of bearing of different types of bearings. So if you go to manufacturer catalog, any manufacturer will be having this kind of catalog. It contains all the ready-made values of the life of bearings. Now, having understood that the meaning of dynamic load carrying capacity of bearing, we are now into the equivalent bearing load. Any force acting on bearing has two components. One is radial component and another is thrust component. Now, if we want to combine these two components into one, we get a single hypothetic load. Now, this hypothetical load or the equivalent load, what we say now, must fulfill the conditions applied to the dynamic load carrying capacity, or this hypothetical load can be compared with the dynamic load carrying capacity of the bearing. So from this, we can define a new term, that is the equivalent. The equivalent word has come from hypothetical, that is combining these two load factor, the force components into one. So equivalent dynamic load is defined as the constant radial load in radial bearings or thrust load in thrust bearing, which if applied to the bearing would give the same life as that which the bearing will attain under actual condition of forces. So this is a definition of the equivalent dynamic load. Now the equation for the equivalent dynamic load is given by capital P is equal to X into V into Fr plus Y into Fa, equation 1, where P stands for equivalent dynamic load in Newton, F suffix R is the radial load in Newton, Fa axial or thrust load in Newton, and capital V is a factor. This factor is known as race rotation factor. Now, the capital X in the equation that I've shown you before is known as radial factor, and capital Y is known as the thrust factor. The values for X and Y are also given in manufacturer catalog. Now this race rotation factor, that is capital V, it depends on the inner race, whether it is rotating, or the outer race, whether it is rotating. Now if I take V is equal to 1, it indicates that the inner race of the bearing rotates and the outer race is held stationary in the housing. If I take V is equal to 1.2, it means the outer race of the bearing is rotating and the inner race is stationary. Generally, we assume that V is equal to 1. So in that case, the equation 1, which I've shown earlier, it becomes capital P is equal to X into Fr plus Y into Fa. This is for radial load and this is for thrust load. Now, when the bearing is subject to pure radial load, that is Fr, when the bearing is subjected to pure radial load, that is Fr, capital P becomes equal to Fr. And similarly, when the bearing is subjected to pure thrust load or axial load, Fa, capital P becomes equal to Fa. So in the problem, we have to see whether the bearing is subjected to pure radial load. In that case, you have to take P is equal to Fr, or whether the bearing is subject to pure thrust load or axial load. Then in that case, P becomes equal to Fa. We have seen that the dynamic load carrying capacity and also the equivalent bearing load. Now, if we want to find out a relationship between the dynamic load carrying capacity, the equivalent dynamic load, and the bearing life all into one, that is relationship between these three, then we come to this equation, capital L suffix 10 is equal to, that is a life of a bearing, becomes, this is an empirical relation. So L10 is equal to capital C by capital P to the power small p, where L10 indicates rated bearing life in million revolutions, and capital C is a dynamic load capacity in Newton. Now small p here, it is 3, taken as 3 for ball bearings, and same small p is taken as 10 by 3 for roller bearings. So there are different values of p for different types of bearings. So therefore, from this equation, if I am to calculate C is dynamic load capacity in Newton. So from this equation, capital C is equal to capital P into L by 10 to the power 1 by small p. Now for all types of ball bearings means this one, where small p is equal to 3. So C is equal to capital P into L by 10 to the power 1 by 3. So instead P is taken as, I am writing 3 because the value of P is 3 for ball bearings. Now if I consider roller bearings, for all types of roller bearings, that is capital small p is equal to 10 by 3. So capital C is equal to capital P into L by 10 to the power 0.3, because the P becomes 3 by 10. So 3 by 10 gives equal to 0.3. Now, if we want to find out the bearing life in millions revolution or life in working hours, now there is a relationship. So that relationship is given by capital L10 is equal to 60 into small n into L10 hours divided by 10 to the power 6, where L10 hours is known as rated bearing life in hours and small n is speed of rotation in RPM. Now, in order to explain this formula, I have taken a very small problem. Let radial load on ball bearings be 5 kN. Expected life for 90% of bearings 8,000 hours, and let the speed of shaft be 1450 rpm. What we are going to calculate? We are going to calculate the dynamic load carrying capacity of the bearing. So we have to write the data first. The data is the radial load on ball bearing, that is Fr, 5 kilonewton, L10 hours is 8000 hours, and small n, that is speed of the shaft, is 1450 rpm. So here, first we have to calculate the bearing life, that is most important, that is L10. So L10 from the above formula is 60 into n into L10 hours divided by 10 to the power 6. So 60 into 1450, n is given as 1450 data, into L10 hours is given 8000 divided by 10 to the power 6. So this gives us 696 million revolution. So once we calculate L10, it becomes very easy to calculate dynamic load capacity. So dynamic load capacity, capital P is equal to Fr, because the radial load is the only load acting on the bearing. So Fr is 5 kilonewton, that is 5000 Newton, and the bearing here is subject to pure radial load, I have explained before. So capital C, which stands for dynamic load capacity, capital C is equal to P into L10 to the power 1 by 3. So P is 5000 into L10 we have calculated here, 696 to the power 1 by 3. That gives us 44,310.48 Newton. So dynamic load capacity of bearing is 44,310.48 Newton.